Hi, good evening everyone. So today is 28th February and I have a problem in hand is medium category lead code problem, and the problem headline is my calendar one. This problem is asked in Google, Twitch, Uber, so I believe that the complexity of this problem is up to mark, I believe. Okay, so let's go ahead. Let's go ahead with this problem. So the initial, I'm reading out first the problem statement, then I will dissect the understanding. But the first I'm reading out the problem statement. You are implementing a program to use as your calendar. So, okay, we can add a new event if adding the event will not cause a double booking. That's great. A double booking happens when two events have some non-empty intersection. That is, some moment is common to both events. Moment means time. Yeah. So the event can be represented as a pair of integer start and end that represents a booking on the half open interval. Start, comma, end the range of the real number x such that start is less than equal to x is less than equal to and implement the MyCalendar class in which MyCalendar initializes the calendar object and boolean book int start and int end returns true if the event can be added to the calendar successfully without causing a double booking. Otherwise, return false and do not add the event to the calendar. So by looking the problem, it seems to be a simple problem requirement, and maybe it is just a static discussion point of problem for Google and other company, so that you can able to understand that how to basically do the overlapping concept. How do you check the overlapping concept, right? That is what the problem is expecting from you. And many times I believe that I had spoke out about it, that whenever you have to deal with intervals, you always, if the intervals is sorted with start time, then it's a great, great over there. One step is already traversed by that problem. Otherwise, you have to go back and first sort these intervals into sort these intervals on the basis of start time. So that is the first step always you have to run. Okay. So in this problem also, whatever the list you have given, but this case is not a list, so you have to maintain that sorted order in your data set, and your job is to just check that does this new interval is overlapping with any existing interval. Yeah. And once you identified it, then return true if it is overlapping. Return false if it is possible to book, and the booking is only possible if it is not overlapping with any existing intervals. So that would be a concept here, right? That is what you need to solve. That is what you need to return as an answer to this problem. Okay. Let's go to the example now. Let's go to the example. So for just my audience, I'm just writing something on. Okay. So my writing pad is not connected. Please connect it. First you have to connect it. Okay. So connect the writing pad, and then I will change the thickness. I have a black color pen. That's okay. Anything else? No. So that's okay. Now you have to write the date of today. Okay. And the problem statement and problem number is, what is the problem number? So where is the problem? Yeah. Okay. So I can minimize it also so that you can see the both screen. That will help you to come on, make it fast. Yeah. Don't waste all this time. Okay. So yeah. Yeah. So the problem number is 729, and my calendar one. Okay, this is your problem, and I believe that I have already explained you the problem, so I don't need to go again. Go. So I will start from example now. Example is something you have to think. So your input is you're starting from the empty object. So okay, so I'm just putting my calendar, meaning book. Then book API call is there, and there are 3 book API calls. So they just have created the first calendar object, and then they just call book 3 times. The parameter would be for this book, I think parameter would be 1020. Okay. Do I need to write this way, or just I have to deal with test cases? I think it is better to next time onward just deal with the test cases. That will help you. So like you have a empty one. Okay. Okay. So you have interval, right? Just like this. Now you do have, when you go to the insert the first interval, there is no issue, right? Because you have a intervals which is empty. So in that case, no worry at all. Now once I go back to 15 and 25, okay, so in this case I will check if I put 15 and 25 symbolically, can we have addition here? So if you remember my overlapping concept, I have only told you to check. So minimum of this 20 and 25. So this is 20 and maximum. I mean here you just have to do the notes. So 20 is minus maximum of this 10 and 15, which is 15. Now this should, if this is greater than or equal to 0, means overlapping. So if you remember, this is overlapping. So this overlaps, and that's why this will return true. That's okay. This will return true. But as soon as you encounter this value, it can't be added, and so that's why this can't be added, right? This can't be added. This will be added, but when you come to here, this can't be added because this is overlapping. So I will return false here. No addition in this case, but I will return false. In this case, I will return true. In this case, I will return false. Let's go further this one. When I talk about the 20 and 30, now again, since you want to, so this 0 is considered as overlapping. It depends on problem, but in this problem, I feel that if some meeting is ended at 20, I can start another meeting at 20, right? He can continue hopping from this meeting to that meeting, right? And that is what managers are doing in industry usually. So that's it. You have to only consider this point here, and so this also, in my opinion, it should return false. Okay. Now, if you look at your expectation, so they are saying that this is allowed, right? It is allowed, so it will return true. Yeah, that is what it is saying, because booking is allowed, and so this will return true. So only this is false, otherwise both are true. So that is what the common is saying. And one consideration here, that if some meeting is ended at 20 time, so at 20 you can start another meeting, that is allowed. That's why this is okay, right? Now constant wise, this is like a start and have 10 to the power 9, and at almost 1000 calls will be made to book. So in one test case we have 1000 calls. This is not a big deal problem. I mean, it's not a complex problem in my understanding. Like whatever the analysis I have given, this much only required. So I'm just going to submit this problem quickly. Okay. So let's move on to the here, and okay, you want to apply directly, I mean here only. So in that case, I have to manage. How to manage? So yeah. Now here is small things you have to do. So that small thing is like now you require some data structure, right? Who will maintain your existing intervals, because on that basis only I can check. And since the intervals are only 10,000 and the call is also 1000, so 1000 into 1000, which is so maximum this 1000 and this 1000. So this is like 10 to the power 6 of the range. So that's not an issue at all. Even 100 or 1000 test cases is also okay, right? So this is one way of solving it. So I will maintain this in sorted order, and then for maintaining in the sorted order, for maintaining this into a sorted order, you have to use the concept where you will insert this interval, right? If you remember. So, and for that purpose, you have to create the binary search, right? So to find the location where you can able to insert your new interval, if it is allowed. If it is not the case of overlapping, in that case. So this is what you should implement, and let's move on to the idea. I think 2-3 methods need to be written properly, and then after that you can submit. I mean, so welcome back. So let's this is like something related with array listing, right? So if you remember, a few days back I have implemented one problem, right? This problem where we have worked on intervals only. So I will just copy this, okay, this complete file here, and then what is the where I have put this coding target LeetCode. So I don't know where it is. It is in the question. Okay, but anyway, I will put this in new item, and the problem name is 729 MyCalendar1 MyCalendar1.cpp. Okay, so this is just I'm pasting this, and instead of doing these things, I mean, this is overlap. Yes, it is required. Merge interval. Yes, you may need it. And then insert interval. Yes, you need it. And this method, you don't need it, right? You don't need it. This new things you have to do in your code only, right? So that so I'll just copy instead of this method. I'll just copy from here, right? This is your two things you have to write in your, okay, in fact, better you just copy this, push it here, this class, and all the things rest things you have to do here. So overlap this and this, okay. So you have to copy and paste it here, and one thing you have to do is this one. So instead of putting here, I would suggest you to put this here, and so you will add everything is overlap, and merge interval is also like this and this too, okay. So that's okay, and then insert interval is here. My calendar, I have to just remove this one, and so nothing you have to do, nothing you require to do as such, and you can only do here like call int dot clear, right? So call int dot clear, okay. So whenever you create new object, it will work over there. Now, so how do you check? So here in this case, like overlapping condition, merging also. So here only, if you have odd int empty, right? If there is nothing, odd int dot empty. So for example, if odd int dot empty, then what should you do? That's okay. Return true. Okay, you don't worry anything about it. And if not, then you have to just check. So you have to just check int n is equal to odd underscore int dot size. So this is something, and you have to check int I is equal to 0, I is less than n plus I. Okay, and so you just check overlap is overlap. Okay, so use this method, is overlap, and I would say old int of I and comma start, and okay, so bool flag. Okay, so if overlap is true, if flag is true, break. Once it becomes true, break. And then so every time you have to go for this value, bool flag is this, okay, bool flag is false. And also before break, I mean it overlap, right? If not the overlap case, meaning if this is flag is false, then you have to just insert merge interval, right? Insert interval or merge interval. So I will go not merge, insert interval, and this insert interval will merge interval, right? So this insert interval, and pass this value here, start, okay. But before that I have already checked, right? So that's okay. Insert interval, that's it, and then return. So if this is overlapping, then you have to return this value. So flag, okay, return. This is what you're supposed to do. Just go one by one. So I just first of all I will check if original entry is empty, then return true if booking is allowed. Otherwise check for overlap to all existing entry. And just to sake of it, that when you should insert, you can only insert if there is no overlap, right? So insert interval is this will go here and add it. So insert interval is, do I need merge? No, I don't require it. So I clean up it. And here insert interval, you just do one thing. In original size, I is less than 10, new interval 0 is less than original interval break, and I mean you have to find the location, right location, okay. So once you find the location, you have to insert it, that's it. So this seems to be okay to me, right? That's okay. So let's it seems to be okay to me. Just go ahead and submit this code on your IDE, here, okay, on your like portal. And so I will run it. Okay, something is wrong. What is wrong? Expression result unused. This if all dot int is return to R. What is that? So is overlap. Is overlap. So I don't know why I need this. Okay, something is wrong, right? Why? So uh, my output is true. No. Do I have to insert it? Yeah, so I have not inserted here actually. That's why it's saying something like that. This is okay. You did it perfectly all right. Uh, but you also have to insert this value. Since you are already confirmed that your is empty, right? So in that case, what you do? You have to insert and then return true, right? Right. So this will add. Okay. Insert this one. Now if I have to, okay, just hold on. Now if I go to here, so in that case, begin is so here also like to do only this thing. The next time size flag is false is overlap. Now here I have this method and I have this method. Okay, I'll just compare this one. But how do I maintain the sorted one? How do I maintain the sorted one? Class is okay. Where I have modified that I need to take one consideration here that our data structure should be in sorted order. And for that, I have created one set which is based on the start time, which I have written in this method actually. And this set is working like comparison will be working on this on the basis of this CMP function class. And after that, like with whatever the insert you will do, this interval, this is always in sorted order. So I'm assuming that this insertion will work in order of log in time. This is bind insert, you have to find the index and then you should insert. After that, you don't need now this line. Just have to, and this is like I'm iterating one by one to check the overlap. All right. So to avoid this thing, I mean, this you need anyway. Check every interval. Do I need to check interval? Hmm, uh, do I need to check interval? That you need because you don't know. I mean, insertion is there, but yeah, you need to verify that is this overlapping with anybody, and that I mean, in any circumstances, you need to. Here also you can because okay. So you have to iterate the each interval and check. That is anyway required. Otherwise, your logic will be more complex, which we don't want here, right? So that's it, and then after that, so yeah, so this is okay, and this big case is also okay, right? Expecting. So let me submit that. Okay, so this is accepted now, but time is little worry factor because I am beating only 23.29, no 23.32%. So 216 millisecond. This is little higher side, little higher side. But anyway, that is accepted. So that's okay. But do I need to check anything? What we did? I think this loop, if I can avoid this loop, then it is okay, I believe. So this is the extra thing I'm doing here. So in one shot, how I can be sure that, okay, so, hmm, I'm blindly checking everything. So instead of checking this, suppose I will search the complete list and try to find any number which is lesser than this start value, any value which is smaller than this value. That would be okay, right? So once I found that index, that is my starting index, and then I will search for the right side also, the bigger one. So I will find that also, and between these two I have to just compare, is this overlapping with this? Because if this is not overlapping with this start and this and, that means it is not going to overlap with anyone, right? That's why that is the way we can optimize it a little bit. But is this the best way? I'm not sure. For now, I think, let me think again, okay? But for now, I'm closing it because this is the initial thought process that submit this problem, and I am able to submit, but I have to work on optimization side of this problem, okay? Okay, thank you. Thanks a lot for having your patience with me.